So earlier today in Ultimate Team, EA dropped this loading screen. We are getting a brand new promo coming on Friday. It's called What If, and in this video today, we're going to talk about what it is, and we're going to predict some players. If you need to get your hands on some coins to improve your Ultimate Team, then check out the link in the description, igvault.com, and if you use the code Kieran at checkout, you'll get yourself a pretty nice discount. So let's begin with what is the What If promo. Well, thanks to Jack on Twitter, you should give him a follow. A link to do so will be in the description. We know what is coming. This promo is very similar to Headliners apparently, but these cards are going to be live items that get upgraded in other ways. So it's not about the team necessarily winning, it's about them hitting certain objectives. And as you can see, there is examples on the screen right now. So if a team scores a certain amount of goals, attacking players are going to get a boost, and if a team keeps a clean sheet, then their goalkeeper and defenders potentially could get boosts. So let's hope that Arsenal don't have a defender in this promo, because that card is just never getting upgraded, because we can't keep clean sheets. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so thanks to Jack for that information, and off that we are going to now predict some players. But before we do that, I do want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the idea of this promo? Personally, I think it's quite good. I like live items in the game. I like the idea of dynamic boost, and I like the fact that it's based off of real world performances too, because it just adds an extra angle to these cards. So yeah, hopefully they also come with a natural boost as well, like Headliners. They're a +1, and hopefully if they complete the objectives, it becomes a +2. So yeah, as I say in the comments, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on that? Also, don't forget to follow Jack as well. Okay, so let's talk about some players, shall we? We're going to start with a potential what if Sancho. Now, there's a bit of theory behind this, and let me explain. So this week, obviously Team of the Week was released, and Sancho and Haaland both got ignored. Like, it's weird that there was no Dortmund player in this week's Team of the Week, because they won 4-0 against Schalke, and if you didn't know already, Borussia Dortmund against Schalke is a very big derby over in the Bundesliga. So it's really surprising that neither of them got an inform. Haaland scored twice, and Sancho got a goal and an assist, so I definitely expected one of them to get an inform, and neither of them did. Now, if there was going to be an inform out of the two, I probably would have expected to see Haaland, because he scored twice. But I'm going to go with Sancho for this promo in particular, because Haaland obviously has that Headliners item already in the game, and it would be a bit strange for him to have two dynamic items in FIFA. But it's EA, some things don't make sense. So yeah, I'm expecting to see Sancho or Haaland in this promo on Friday, and as I say, I'm going to go for Sancho instead of Haaland because of obviously the Headliners item. But it's EA, who knows, we'll have to wait and see. So going forward, we don't really have too much to base this off, so they pretty much are just predictions. So next up, I'm going for Raphinha. Now, I've gone for a Leeds player on purpose, because they're the kind of team that one week can score 5, the next week concede 5. So I think having a player from them in this promo would actually be quite fun. So I've gone with Raphinha, who's actually having a really solid season for them, and it would just be a pretty good card for Ultimate Team as well. So hopefully this one does indeed happen. From one Brazilian to another, I'm including a NEYMAR, because why not? We've seen with this current Team of the Week that EA clearly just want to sell packs this week, so yeah, why not throw a NEYMAR into this promo? And to be honest, he actually hasn't had that many special items this year, so yeah, why not? It would certainly be interesting, especially with the amount of goals that PSG score. If some of these objectives are based on scoring X amount of goals, then maybe PSG will be looking to, you know, hit them targets, and if they do, we'll obviously end up with a nicely boosted NEYMAR within the game, which yeah, I'm sure would be very expensive. Okay, so we obviously need to discuss some defensive players as well. Now, I mentioned this kind of earlier in the video, perhaps EA are purposely going to pick sides which they know are going to struggle to fulfill X amount of objectives. Like, for instance, Arsenal. We're not very good at keeping clean sheets, so maybe they'll put a defensive Arsenal player in, because they know it's not super likely that it's going to get an upgrade straight away. So what about a Kieran Tierney? Already a pretty solid item in game, and with a couple of upgrades could become a really top tier left back. I don't know about you guys, but I would really like to see this card happen. Do I think it will? Probably not, but I can at least be hopeful, I guess. As I say, it would be a really nice item for Premier League sides. I think putting Fernandinho into this promo would actually be quite good. He's one of the few Man City players who don't have a special card already, and his game time is relatively limited for Man City as he is obviously into his later years, but still has a nice item in Ultimate Team, and they could use him, could release him as a centre back or a CDM, and obviously different objectives could entail from that. So I think Fernandinho would fit this what if promo quite nicely. You guys must get absolutely sick of seeing Emre Can in my prediction videos, but he's got to get into one of them at some point, and look how good his item looks just after one mini boost. If this guy got multiple upgrades, he would have an absolutely ridiculous item in FIFA Ultimate Team. So I'm just hoping that at some point he does get selected for one of these promos. A dynamic item for him, that'd be mad, especially if Dortmund can go on a good run. This card could get absolutely insane. So obviously I do already have a Premier League left back in this video, but I've got another one right here with Luke Shaw, and pretty much I've put him in because he's been on a good run of form recently for Manchester United, and he's really improved that back line as well, both in defence and in attack, so that could be a reason for him being selected. Yes, we've had quite a few Brazilians already, but I've got to go for another one. I've got to go for Paqueta, who has been very, very good for Lyon this season, and he could have had a few more informs as well because he's put in quite a few steady performances, and him getting in this promo, this card would be expensive, very, very expensive, but it would tie in nicely with a bunch of other cards we've already had in this year's game. Obviously, we had that Foot Freeze Marquinhos, we had that Future Stars Bruno Guimaraes, and yeah, he would obviously link to both of them very, very nicely. So yeah, I think this could be a good card for the game, and also would be a very, very expensive one. I've included Richarlison for the same reason I kind of included Sancho at the start. I felt like Richarlison had a good chance of getting in the upcoming team of, well, the recent team of the week, sorry. Ultimately, he didn't get in, and maybe that's because they're saving him for this Friday promo. And once again, this would be a really nice card for the game, and another one that would be ridiculously expensive. And I've just realised I've got yet another Brazilian. Okay, no more Brazilians from this point on, I promise. But Richarlison, after an upgrade or two, would be absolutely awesome in the game. Got the 5-star weak foot, good bit of pace about him, really nice shooting, and the dribbling by that point would be really, really solid as well. So yeah, this card could be absolutely brilliant if Everton, of course, can complete the objectives that EA do give to them. Obviously, we don't know what they are yet, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they are on Friday. Obviously, if some of the objectives revolve around clean sheets, we have to talk about some goalkeepers, and I've gone with Leipzig's Gulaschi, and one reason is I just think this would be a nice card for the game. It gives the guy some use in FIFA other than being SBC food, and also, as we all very well know, EA love to throw RB Leipzig players into promos. We get one literally every single time, so would not be surprised to see this one happen at all. Now, with Atletico Madrid doing very well in La Liga this year, I obviously had to go for one of their players, and I've gone with Saul. Originally, I was going to go with Llorente, but because he's already had like the Rule Breakers card, he's had a few informs, I thought I'll go for someone else who hasn't had many cards, and his Perfect Link Saul obviously fits that requirement, and because of that Perfect Link, this card could obviously be quite sought after, and this is another one of them that after a few upgrades will become a ridiculously well-rounded midfielder. We have another La Liga player next in the form of Umtiti, who hasn't had the most amount of game time for Barcelona overall this season, but as of late he has actually been in the side a bit more, so yeah, it could be a good option here. Originally I was going to go with Longley, but I thought I'd go with Umtiti instead because obviously he's had no special items this year, and he's another one of the players who has really good defensive stats, nice passing for a defender, good physicals, but his pace is lacking, so if he can get that upgraded, he will become pretty usable, and obviously fits the meta backline involving French players, and also obviously the La Liga backline, the typical Mendy, Varane, etc. You get the idea, I don't need to spell it out here. Now, I really wanted to include an Inter Milan player as well because they're obviously having a very solid season in the Serie A, but most of their attacking players have got like numerous special items, so I wanted to kind of avoid them, and like I said, try and put in players who don't have special items yet. And I've gone with Skurna, whose name I'm almost definitely getting wrong, but it's just another one of them cards which I think after a couple of boosts could become very usable, but without those boosts isn't a great card. So these are the kind of items I want to see in these promos, cards that if they do get the boost will become very usable. So hopefully this is an option. I am also hoping that EA don't do what they normally do and ignore a lot of the quote-unquote lower leagues in this promotion. I want to see some usable players from these quote-unquote lesser leagues, because if they have better cards in the game, then there's more chance of them being used, and people have a reason to get a bit creative with their squads other than just using the same old teams all the time. So if we could see any of the players that I've just put on the screen right now, that would be great in my opinion. Anyway guys, those are my predictions for this quote-unquote what if promo. What if I get them all right? What if I get them all wrong? The latter is probably more likely. Obviously we don't really have too much basis for this promo with it being a brand new one, so I'm not expecting to get many right, to be honest, but hopefully a couple of them do feature. It's more a case of me wanting to see some of these players like I already explained at the start. But anyway, let's wrap things up. In the comments below, let me know what players you'd like to see involved. Also let me know what you think of the concept that we spoke about at the start. If you could leave a like rating on the video, that'd be very much appreciated. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.